Hey guys, I'm Joe. This is the Rebels Advocate, and this is episode 7 of Well. And before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to today's sponsor,
Mountain Dew.
Has your liver ever done anything nice for you? Do you wake up every day thinking about how much you love your kidneys? Would you like to live a long and healthy life? If you answered no to all of these questions, then Mountain Dew is probably the drink for you. Mountain Dew. For when you just want to say,
Fuck it.
it's the official drink of the Rebels Advocate and Eagle Ridge Trailer Park, where your mama will live. Mountain Dew.
but with a good cold Mountain Dew, I can overcome those feelings. Anyway, so not really going to talk a whole lot today, but and to be honest, I completely forgot it was Monday, and that could have been tragic. I don't, what what happens, I mean, we seen a couple weeks ago when I forgot, and well, I didn't forget, but I was just having a really tough time and didn't do a Wail, and well, I mean, the world almost come screeching to a halt, and I was just like, I can never let that happen again, ever. I can't let the world down like that, and I felt bad. Here in America, our economy is bad enough, and then I don't put out an episode, and it just, Wall Street was going crazy. It's just, it was just a chain of bad events that I kind of somewhat felt guilty about. But, I'm doing the best I can. I was driving down the road, and I had a thought, because like I said, I forgot what day it was, and so I didn't really have anything to talk about. But I was thinking about God. I think a lot about Him. I guess because He spends a lot of time, like, knocking on my heart. Like, He just wants in, And I'm not gonna lie, I'm hunkered down in the bathroom, like, pretending I'm not home. But He knocked too quick for me to, like, turn out all the lights. So, like, there's lights on, and He knows the cars in the drive, and it's like He can see the TV going. It's just it's one of those situations where He knows somebody's home, and he's knocking, and I'm just like, fuck, but I'm not. It's reached a point where, there was a point where I could have came to the door and been like, oh shit, I didn't hear you. But now, like, He's circled around, He's knocked on the front, knocked on the back. Like, it's reached a point where a point of no return, really. Like, there's no way to save face. Like, I can't come out at this point and pretend like I didn't hear Him. He knows I heard Him. He knows that I know it's Him. Like, I don't know, it's awkward. But anyway, I think a lot about Him. And I was thinking how sometimes when you question things, every now and then you'll have somebody who's like, how dare you question God? Who do you think you are to question God? We don't know God's will. Are we smarter than God? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, I am smarter than God. I don't know if you've read the book, but God's a fucking idiot. And I was thinking that maybe that is some of what leads to atheism. It's not so much, maybe before, because when you read the Bible as a Christian, you believe it, right? And so there has to be a transition from believing it's true to not believing it's true. So I'm wondering if, like, while you still believe it's true, if there's a part of you subconsciously where you're like, holy shit, like, this is a dumb motherfucker. Like, he's dumb as fuck. And you realize you're smarter than God. And so that doesn't jive too well, but you know it. Like, I mean, you're reading a book, and so then maybe that makes it a little easier when you get to the part of, well, maybe it's just not true, you know. I mean, I would kind of rather think that it's not true than to think I'm worshiping an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to worship anybody. I think that's stupid, like, worshiping anything, you know? It's just so, that's so, like, 1995, you know? Like, you don't do that shit now. Like, worship something, you know? Like, I don't even worship my golden images anymore. I used to have a lot of golden statues I worship, and that kind of isn't even fun anymore. I don't even do that, and so I'm definitely not gonna worship, you know, this dude who is honestly not that bright. I mean, think about it. The guy lived for an eternity, apparently by himself, and then he was like, I guess he was lonely, so he created a bunch of people, but he created us like a bazillion light years away, like where we can't even see him. It makes no fucking sense. And then I guess he realized that was a bad idea, so he created some people like around him, but apparently they're kind of like robots, like, you know, not a whole lot of free will. They just do what he says. And so there's like why are we even here? And then he sets up this weird game, and then understand at some point, like, he knows everything, and I guess he was really bored. I mean, you can chalk it up to that, I guess, a little bit. You know, at first you can say maybe it's not stupidity, it's boredom, because I can see how this is why I don't want to be immortal. Like, if you live forever, you would get extremely bored. So he literally created his own arch nemesis, you know. He created Lucifer, set the whole thing up. I mean, the dude knows the future. He knows what's going to happen. So, you know, he had to know when it didn't just happen. Like, God created him for that purpose, to be his big #1 enemy. And then the bad thing is it seems like he beats him at every corner. But I guess he's got it set up, according to the book, I guess he's got it set up kind of like a Rocky scenario. Like, the devil's just going to beat the shit out of God, you know, all the way up to the final round, and God's face is all swollen, but, you know, he'll have the last laugh, you know, I guess. And two, I don't know, maybe God created, you know, it could have been boredom why he created Lucifer, or it could have been to cover up for just how evil he is, actually, so he could do a lot of evil shit and then blame it on the devil. You know, like how he murdered, like, just countless people throughout the Bible, but somehow Lucifer is the bad guy. Like, and like, I don't know, but like, he sends people to hell, and you're like, why are you sending people to hell? Like, eternal punishment? That makes no sense, God. And he's like, no, that's Lucifer. That's not me doing that. But it's like, but you created hell, right? And you knew who was going to go there, right? Like, and you created Lucifer, right? You knew what it, like, this all kind of tracks back to you, God. Like, you see, like, you can't claim to be all-knowing, all-powerful. Like, if you want to do this, you have to be willing to be like, yeah, I don't know everything. Like, I didn't know it was going to turn out this way. And then, like, the story might work, you know. So you can't have it, you can't be completely infallible, perfect, and all-powerful like that, and then still and have your own arch nemesis. It just makes no sense. You know, it's kind of like Superman versus Batman, it's like the premise doesn't make sense, because I mean, in reality, Superman just crushes Batman and it's over, like, you know. But I don't know, I guess for entertainment purposes you draw it out, and I don't know. But anyway, he creates this, puts us on this planet like a bazillion light years away. We can't even see him, and then like the people that do see him, like he's like, nah, you can't look at me or you'll die. It's like, well, what can I do? It's like, well, you can fall on your face and worship me forever. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's gotta suck for him though, as much as it does us, right? Like, how are you supposed to have friends like that? Like, does God have any buddies? Like, does anybody hang out with God? Just chilling? Like, so God, how, you know, like, is there anybody there? I wonder, like, does he have anybody that is just like, hey, God, how, like, you know, how was your day? Like, did you kill any people today? Like, you know, strike a few people down with cancer? Like, what'd you do? Like, hey, God, maybe you need a cigarette. Maybe you need to calm the fuck down, you know? Like, God needs somebody to kind of be able to not just be a yes man, but kind of put him in his place, if that makes sense. And I don't think God has that. It's just, you know, everybody needs that. I mean, he's going batshit crazy. He's talking to his fucking self. Like, he created his own kid. Like, I don't even know if that's real or not. That's another thing. He's like, I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna die for you. That's how much I love you. And we're like, oh, I don't think that's necessary, but okay. I mean, you know, we don't need saving, like, from anybody except you. So, like, it's really, like, I don't see why you have to die to save us from you. But okay, whatever, you know, if that's what you want to do. But who's going to be watching heaven while you're down here? And he's like, well, I will. I'm sending my son down. It's like, you're sending your son? Okay, at first, you know, I was like, it's stupid, but at least it's noble. You want to die for us, but now you're not even doing it yourself. You're sending your kid. You're getting your kid murdered, and he's like, oh, no, you don't understand. I am my kid. So what the fuck? Like, really? Like, you are your kid? Yeah. And then after I die, like, I'll come back to my dad, which is also me. But don't worry, I'll send a comforter down. Oh, you'll send a comforter down. That's cool. Yeah, it's the Holy Spirit. Who the fuck is the Holy Spirit? Well, that's me too. Oh, there's 3 of you now. Yeah, makes total sense. Like, are you like are you even like? Is this really what you want me to write down, God? He's like, yeah. Just one more question, God. Like, are you real? Like, are you for real? And God's like, no, I'm a toad. Like, you're super high right now. You've been talking to a toad for 35 minutes. And the guy was like, I'm gonna ignore that last part. I'll write everything else down, but ignore that last part. Yeah, I think I'm smarter than that. And when I say I'm smarter than God, I guess ultimately what I mean is I'm smarter than the motherfuckers that come up with this shit. I guess, you know? It's like, some chick got pregnant and was like, she was supposed to be a virgin, you know? She's getting ready to get married, and, you know, I imagine Joseph was, I mean, he was a pretty open-minded fella. You'd have to know him. Like, he was pretty cool, but, you know, he was a simple-minded guy, I guess. Like, just old-fashioned, kind of believed in saving yourself to marriage, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. And so, it got under his skin a little bit that she was pregnant, you know, I mean, he didn't fly off the handle mad, but he slapped her a couple times, you know, like you do. And she's like, whoa, you got this all wrong. Like, I wasn't out just fucking random dudes. And he's like, oh yeah? And what happened? And she's like, well, God kind of raped me and planted his seed in me, and I'm gonna have a baby, which will be his son, but it'll also kind of be him. And you know, Joseph, of course, hearing that story was just like, oh, fuck. You know, I wish you'd told me that before I slapped you. Like, that makes total sense. You know, like, I had a buddy, this happened to a buddy of mine just like 3 weeks ago, that's what Joseph said. And so yeah, it was all good. And that all makes perfect sense. And that's why you should go to church like 3 or 4 times a week and just sing songs and stuff to that guy, because it all makes perfect sense. Like, this is a dude who created, like, seriously, he's dumb as fuck. He created the world. It's supposed to be like perfect and shit, and it fucked up. Like, it fucked up like in no time. Like, he put a goddamn tree there. It's like, don't eat of this tree, but also you don't have, he didn't give them the knowledge of good and evil. Like, that knowledge was in the tree, like in the fruit of the tree, because that makes sense somehow. And he's like, don't eat it, but they didn't know any better because they hadn't had the fruit yet. Like, you have to eat the fruit to know that it's not right to eat the fruit, and they hadn't yet, so they ate the fruit. Like, any idiot could have seen that coming. Like, I'm not, like, I don't have special psychic powers, but like, if you had set that simulation up, I would have been like, those motherfuckers are going to eat the fruit, man. Like, they're going to eat that fruit. I guess God didn't think so, and then he was like, I'll even put a serpent down there that like is like really good at tempting people, and he'll try to tempt them to eat it, and I bet they won't eat it. And you know, if God had a buddy, if God had a buddy, his buddy would have been like, dude, they're going to eat that fucking fruit. Like, I'm just telling you, that's what's going to happen. But God didn't have a buddy. Apparently he didn't have a wife either. Like, a wife would save you. You know, like, my wife would have, like, would spoke up. Like, maybe I would do something that stupid. I don't think I'd even do something that stupid. But if I did, at least my wife would be there and be like, Joe, they're going to eat that fucking fruit. Like, you know, it's incredibly stupid. But anyway, he gets past that part, and then it's like, just like a little while later, like, you can imagine, like, the technology then wasn't great. And they start building a tower, and again, he lives like a bajillion whatever units of measurement you want to say away. Like, there's no way to ever we'll never see him, and they're building a tower. Like, I mean, what's the best they could have done back then? I don't know. Like, how high can you build a fucking tower? Like, we can't even build them that high now, you know, in relation to the earth. Like, how high could this tower possibly have been? And God's like, oh shit, they might find me. Fucking hell, man. And so he destroyed that, and he just like tore it down, you know, like it was a Lincoln log house or something. Just, and then he changed everybody's languages. He's like, yeah, that should help. That should really help world relations right there. Everybody will speak a different language, and I'll just make their cultures different to where they don't really understand each other, and they don't even view each other as equals, you know. Just, it'll be harder to empathize with other people. That's a great idea, God. Yeah. He's a fucking dumbass, man. I mean, everything he does, he sets up for failure and then gets pissed when it fails. He's Trump. I mean, basically, he's fucking Trump. And now I know why Christians vote for Trump. I mean, Trump is God. Holy fuck. Like, I just cracked the code just now. Like, Trump and God, they're identical. They're fucking morons who Christians seem to think can do no wrong. And even when you point out the wrong, wow. It's an incredible moment. What a moment. You know, come to think of it, does Trump have any buddies? I mean, he's got a lot of cronies. But does Trump have a buddy? You know, like, who would call themselves Trump's buddy? You know, I just, yeah. I mean, think about it. If Trump had had a buddy, like, he would have been like, I think I want to run for president, and his buddy would have been like, you're a fucking moron. Don't do that. Let's just go play golf. You know, and Trump would be safely on a golf course today, and we would be a lot better off. But Trump didn't have a buddy. No way to tell him. And he ain't really got a wife either, really. I mean, what is she? Like, I don't know. She's like a prop of some sort. She is absolutely everything that the right wing people love to make fun of. I mean, everything. She ticks all the boxes, but she's married to their god, so they're just like, she is wonderful. She is like so Americana. It's fucked up, crazy world. But yeah, God's an idiot. So next time somebody's like, who are you to question God? Be like, well, I'm a lot smarter than that motherfucker, so that's who I am. And yeah, he's an idiot. I mean, think about the flood. Like, he literally, oh, that was another thing I was gonna say, like the tower thing. But like, I mean, the flood happens in, like, he wrote a book about supposedly he wrote this book about the beginning of the world, Genesis. He got 6 chapters, 6 motherfucking chapters into his book where he was like, fuck this, the world is too fucked to fix. Like, I can't fix this shit. Just Control Alt Delete. Like, he just flooded the bitch, killed everybody but one family that was just as fucked up as anybody else, but he thought they were okay. But they proved they were just as fucked up as everybody else. Hell, they was doing stupid shit. As soon as they got off the goddamn boat, they was doing stupid shit. Like, you know, it was like, you read on past the flood, you think, oh, he fixed it, everything's gonna be better. No, he didn't fix shit. He don't know how to fix shit, because he's a fucking dumbass. But he blames it on us, like we're his creation. Like, he wired my fucked up brain, you know, if you believe in that sort of thing. But yet, I'm the fucking problem. He's a fucking idiot. He really is. It's a weird theme for the show this week. But, you know, it's better than talking about anything serious, right? I'd rather sit here and rant for 20 minutes about somebody who doesn't exist than to talk about the real world. That's how fucked up the real world is right now, you know? It's like, I'd rather talk about some motherfucker that doesn't even exist. Just like rant on him, tell him what a fucking idiot he is. Or she. Nah. If he was a she, I think she would be smarter. You know? He just, a lot of things he does seems like dick moves that a guy would do, you know? I don't know, there's some female dicks out there, though, that do some stupid shit. So you never know, you know? I'm not saying that women are perfect or anything. I think I'm gonna go. My wife and kid are in the backyard playing, so I'm gonna go play with my wife and kid and have a good day. And so, until next time, I love you motherfuckers. And remember, you might not be that smart, but you're smarter than God. I believe that 100%. You're smarter than God. Like, comment, subscribe, all that other shit. Share this with your family. You know, if your family goes to church, just be like, hey, this guy had some really deep insights on God that I think you should listen to. Like, I mean, I really think he got to the bottom of a lot of the court issues of whatever. Nah, don't do that. Or do that. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. Anyway, I gotta go. I love you guys. And I'll be back. I'll be more cheerful next week. Yeah, I will. I'll be more cheerful. I'm gonna talk about something fun. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to tie myself down. Like, you know, obligate myself. But maybe. I'll try. We'll think about it. Alright, bye.